As promised, joining us live now is former World Cup winner Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan, thanks so much for speaking to India today. First up, how would you describe this win? I'm getting contrasting opinions. Will you say this was a thumping win? Will you say this was a comfortable win? Or will you say it was just about a win? My question largely is, were you nervous at any point, or do you think India always had this match under control?
Well, it was just a win. The win what India was looking for. This exactly was that kind of a win. Obviously, they could have played slightly better and got the result in like probably 43rd, 44th over. But in the end, win is a win. You can't really complain about it. Obviously, whatever things you couldn't do in this game, you look to do that, improve your side going forward, and hopefully you play better than this and get even better result than what you have got today. I certainly believe that after getting them out for 220 odd, I believe it was a chaseable score. And even in my previous interview with you, Nikhil, I mentioned, anything above 270, 280 will be a difficult kind of a target to chase on such pitch, because I've seen, few matches here in Dubai. I was part of the broadcasting team. This pitch becomes slower and slower. One lesson, if they have to learn from today's match, I believe it's a bat first wicket. If you happen to win the toss again, bat first, put 280, 300 odd runs on the board, then you have a quality spinner in your lineup. You can thrash all the other teams. I don't think they are as good teams as the Indian team is, because if you see the depth of Indian team, nobody can match that kind of a depth in all the departments. So I believe they won this game, which was a pressured game. First game is always a tough one, but now going forward, they know the condition. They will adjust themselves and play better cricket than what they played today. And what convincingly, when you are looking for, probably will get that as well against Pakistan.
That's very interesting, Harbhajan. You speak about, this is a pitch where you win the toss, you bat first. I think Indian team has learned their lesson, not just from this match. I heard from Rohit Sharma at the toss, he had said that even for this match, they were ready. If they had won the toss, they would have batted first. That's the kind of pitch that you're getting in Dubai. Let's talk about the Indian batting. And we have to start with Shubman Gill. I know you're a big fan of Shubman and his batting. Today, tough situation. He really stepped up. But I have a tougher question for you. This is the 8th ODI 100, if I'm not mistaken. The man has got a 200 also in ODI cricket. Is it the best ODI knock that you've seen from Shubman, keeping in mind the conditions that were there in Dubai?
No, this is a learning inning. What I will say in my words for Shubman Gill. I've seen him bat in different situations on different pitches. I think he's got, very mature head on his shoulder, who understand his game. This format, I've said earlier also, suits him better than T20 format. He can take his time, and he's a proper player. Once he's set, once he crossed 30, 40 or runs, he just don't throw away his wicket, because he plays normal cricket, simple cricket, just basic cricket. That's what makes him a special player. And I'm still yet to see his best performances going forward. He's got a lot of years for India. So this is just one of those learning curves. This inning will obviously boost him as a player, his confidence. It'll make him a better player, yes. But I know he's got a lot of capabilities. He's more capable of winning big games, which we'll see him winning in future for India.
That's right. It's a nice word that Harbhajan uses. This is a learning sort of an inning for Shubman Gill. He's seen him play in every possible condition. Okay, I'll try to put another tough question. And I was really confused after this. Who would have I given the man of the match to? I know Shubman has won it, and I think there's good enough reason for Shubman to win it. Then there's Mohammed Shami with a Fifer. And in my head, I was 50-50. Who do I give it to? But if you were the one who was going to be picking the man of the match, who would you have gone with?
I think I would go with it's very hard because it wasn't that easy wicket to bat also, and
Yeah.
somebody needed to play that kind of inning what Shubman played, by securing that win. So I think what Shami did up front was amazing. Putting the brakes on their scoring runs by taking those important wickets up front. I think that was the key for me in this game. I think if India took those chances, didn't drop too many catches, they could have got Bangladesh out for 160 odd runs. But nevertheless, they scored, I think, way too many after, getting 5 wickets of Bangladesh early on. So I would have given it to Mohammed Shami simply for a reason that one, he's making a comeback, and the impact he left, straight away from ball one till till the last over he bowled. He showed the world that he was missing majorly in Australia.
Harbhajan, in the context of India's campaign here at the Champions Trophy, how important was it for Mohammed Shami to fire? Because we had seen him in the England series, played I think 2 T20Is, then 2 ODIs, wasn't looking 100% in terms of his fitness, though the seam position was always there. But now he plays the first match. What do you think will it impact the Indian team on a whole that Shami is back into form?
Oh, obviously, a massive role he's got now since Bumrah is not there. He's always been a champion bowler for Team India, whether Bumrah was bowling from the other end or anybody else. But he's got amazing record. If you talk about him, he's got more number of wickets in ICC trophies than any other bowler, any other Indian bowlers, I'll rather say. That goes on to show that he's a very, very capable bowler, a match winner on his own. Simply, good to have him back. I'm so happy and glad that, he's fully back to his fitness. Those 2 games against, England, obviously, he was a bit worried about his injury. It might come back and whatsoever. When you're going through such pains, only a player will be able to understand their bodies. And Shami was, what we heard from him. He was so nervous, and he was not sure whether he'll be able to make a comeback in cricket or not. But good to have him back, fully fit, running and bowling like the way we have always seen him. Champion bowler, taking those 5 wickets, winning game for India. What else do you want from him? And I wish him all the luck, against Pakistan, and I hope this form continue. Another Fifer will be great.
Okay, we're going to get to India batting as well, Harbhajan. But I'm just sticking with India's bowling. Of course, Shami picks up those 5 wickets. But what did you make of India's bowling performance in the middle overs? Do you think that's an area of concern that India might have, the middle overs? Because, 35 for 5 Bangladesh, as you mentioned as well a little while earlier, 160 is what you were looking that Bangladesh could be dismissed for. But they have that 154-run stand. Do India have enough wicket takers in those middle overs?
Yes, I certainly believe that Indian bowlers were, right on the track. And we took those catches which we dropped. I think story would have been something else. I think we need to field better. When you drop catches and you give chances to the oppositions, this is what happened. And of course, I would actually like to see Varun Chakravarti getting into the fold and see, how you can fit him in. Playing maybe 2 left-arm spinner instead of playing 2 left-arm spinner, just go with one and maybe bring Varun Chakravarti, where people are talking about, okay, let's get to 280, score 280, 200. Even if you score 240, you have another wicket taker in your bowling lineup. And that's the reason you have picked him. His recently form against England was amazing. So, get the best out of him. When he's bowling at his best, I think this is the kind of a tournament you want to see him perform and shine for India. And I think going forward, if India plays with the same team, which I believe they will, they need to probably take those catches. I think they were not up to the mark. The fielding wasn't up to the mark. They gave too many chances, opportunities to the batters to score those runs.
Harbhajan, I'm going to talk to you about one man, and that is Virat Kohli. And the reason I want to pick your brains on that is that, Virat is a star player. We know he's a superstar. He's gone through slumps in the past. But every time he's gone through a bad form, he's found a solution. What is really worrying now for me and for plenty of other people that I spoke to, Indian fans, is the manner in which he's getting out. Now, we saw this trend versus England. It was Adil Rashid, the leg spinner. He comes and bowls, and every time he came in, he picked up the wicket of Virat Kohli. Here too, he was looking very good. And what do Bangladesh do? They bring a leg spinner, and that's exactly what happens. He looks slightly uncomfortable and is out for the leg spinner. Do you think there is a situation now where Virat may not have answers to what the problems are? Before this, he had answers to everything. Any problem, he would find an answer. But do you think it's reached a situation where he's probably struggling to find an answer to that same old problem against leggy in white ball cricket?
Well, I certainly believe that, slower bowlers, leggies have given him some sort of uncomforts there, while facing them. He need to obviously come up with some plan against those leggies, how to tackle them, how to look to convert, those dot balls into singles by taking the pressure off them. I think, when the form is not there with you, this is exactly what happened. You tend to take a lot more time. You tend to take, more deliveries to get settled, and that's exactly what is happening with Virat Kohli. Cricket is a great leveler, and it goes on to show that no matter how big a player you are, your reputation will not count. But what you do there, you intent, what you show, that's what will make you, what you are, and of course take you forward. And that's where I think he's getting stuck because he's taking a bit more time. I believe he needs to just back himself and play like Virat Kohli. He has got nothing to prove to anyone. He's a champion player. Even if he retires today, he'll still go on to be India's legend who served India really well over the years. So I believe he just need to enjoy his game and take, that extra luggage out of his mind and bat freely. Simple as that. Today was the opportunity, I believe, where, he probably wanted to get into the form, wanted to face many more balls and see, get ready for the Pakistan. But that didn't happen. It was a very slow inning. And of course, against the leggies, against the spinners, we have seen him, not able to rotate that strike. But we have seen Virat Kohli, hitting them over cover, playing that sweep as well in Australia against, he need to kind of back himself to showcase what Virat Kohli was, and he can still do that job. It's just a mental thing. It's a mental thing which only only himself, can help himself, to get out of it. Virat Kohli will be Virat Kohli, but this is where the team needs him to score runs, and Pakistan or against any other team, we might see him playing in the semi-final against Afghanistan, where they have three quality spinners. That's where Virat Kohli needs to come good. He needs to start backing himself from the next game itself. This is where I belong, and people are there to watch him. So he's got nothing to prove. So just go out there and enjoy.
I think the very important bit of what Harbhajan has just said, the operative bit is, rotation of strike. We all know Virat Kohli feeds on that. If he continues to rotate strike, he is very comfortable. As soon as you choke that rotation of strike, that's where you see that panic set in, and that's how teams are managing to get him out. And that's exactly what you've seen against spinners as well. I'm going to take your attention, Harbhajan, to another batter now who played a very handy role. 41 not out, KL Rahul. It was a tricky situation. India had lost 3 wickets, and he comes on the crease with Shubman and gets that 41 not out. Of course, there was a drop chance there. But what do you make of KL's batting position? You reckon this is fine? Akshar comes ahead of him, or do you think, no, don't fidget? And instead of having that panic set in, let him bat a spot higher?
No, I think he's batting at right spot. If you ask KL Rahul where he would like to see him, bat, he'll say 1, 2, 3. First 3 position. But he's always been one of those guys who continue to fill in slot for others. He never got that opportunity, like 20 games at one position. But good to see him. He's got that composed head. He's got the basics game. He knows what situation demand, and he plays accordingly. Obviously there was a drop catch. People talk about it, but I think he showed a lot of composure while he was batting there. It gives that dressing room that calming effect. That if KL is there, he's one of those guys who plays spin really well, and when it comes to the later part, he can hit those big sixes as well. So I think his batting order is just right. We don't need to do a lot of chop and changes, with the batting order, and try to adjust KL Rahul somewhere, and again somebody will come down or change their position. So I think let him bat where he is batting. It's good to have someone like him. Even if you lose 3-4 wickets up front, he's there to kind of give you that protection, what you want, give you that calmness as in the dressing room, what you want. So KL is a quality player. Good to see him coming good for India, and maybe we'll need him in bigger stage as well. It's good to see he's scoring runs, and he's getting those runs in ease, not like struggling and getting runs. The moment he walked in, you could see his body language. That singles were on. He was not getting stuck. So that's where it shows that intent was there. So lovely to have him back, and of course, scoring runs is obviously at that number, it's never going to be easy. But he's a quality player.
Okay. All right, Harbhajan, we'll leave it at that. But thanks so much for, summing up that entire match. We spoke about all the relevant issues in this particular encounter. He spoke about KL Rahul. He said it's good. India might need him in bigger encounters ahead. And that's exactly what the Indian team is going to get. Bigger encounters. Next up is Pakistan. After that is New Zealand. So for all of that, build up to those games as well as analysis, your destination. It is India today. Harbhajan Singh will be joining us. Thank you, Bhaji, for speaking to us tonight.